second grade. Last time you were here, we read the book The Magical Garden of Claude Monet. In this book, we talked about Impressionism, we talked about how Monet loved to garden and he loved to paint using brushstrokes. He used Impressionism to create the look of water and flowers and fields. This book is called A Picnic with Monet, and in this book it has some examples of his work. And I wanted to show you one example of water that he painted. Now, because he was an impressionist, he used various brushstrokes to create, and all those brushstrokes came together to create the look of water. If you look at this water down here, he just didn't use the color blue. He used purples, light blues, some greens to create the look of water. If you look at this picture, look at the water closely. He used dark blues, light blues, some green, white brushstrokes going quickly to create the illusion or the impression of the boat's reflection on the water. If you look at this water, it's comprised of light blues, purples, whites. It's an impression of water. It's not just using the color blue, it's using multiple colors to create the look of water. What we'll do today is we are creating a pond inspired by Monet for a habitat for the turtles we made out of clay. One thing I want you to look at is the colors that were used in this water for this example. The colors you see are white, I see purple, I see greens and blues. These are all strokes coming together to create the impression of water. So we are not just going to use the color dark blue and paint a circle of water in the middle of our pond. We're going to use multiple strokes coming together to create a multicolored water that looks similar to Monet's painting. Next time you come back, we will create lily pads and various flowers to put in our pond for our turtles' habitat. First, you'll have a paper plate like this. That's what you'll get. I have various colors. I have dark blues, light blues, and greens. I'm going to use green. On the back, I want you to write your name. And I want you to write your teacher's initials. So if you are in Miss Hamilton's class, I want you to write her full name. If you're in Miss Howell's class, I want you to write her full name. And if you are in Miss Hankins' class, I want you to write her full name because your teachers all start with the letter H. And if you're in another teacher's class, write the first letter of their last name. W for Wilson, E for Emberton. After you write your name on the back, you can do that in pencil, Sharpie, marker, whatever is available at your table. Then flip it over. You will need, for this next part, these colors: blue, white, purple, and green. Now, if you want to use light blue, here's how you would make that. You put a little blue here. Don't forget, you might want to have a rag or a tool to wipe off your brush so you don't get the white completely messed up. So get a paper towel at the sink, that would be helpful. And in between uses, you can create light blues, and the same for purple and the same for green. Mix it with a little bit of white and that creates that light color. Now, just like Monet, he used single brush strokes. So I'm going to start by just doing single brush strokes across the green plate for water. I don't want to paint these edges in. I want this to be the edge of my bank. So this is the water, this is the edge of the bank, and I just want to create brush strokes. Remember, we're not painting like this, and we're not painting it all in light blue. You're doing strokes of paint. So after you do that, get another color. I'm choosing dark blue, and I'm going to add to the strokes. Now, if you want to go into a different color, you can always wipe your brush off. Mix some light purple. It's okay if the colors mix. Highlights of purple in there. Now, because I am creating water, I do want there to be more blue than purple. So I'm going to go back into my blue. so the colors build on each other. If you want it to dry a little bit before you add the next layer, you can wave it so it can build. And add a little more light blue, some whites. Because I'm working on a green plate, some green is naturally going to poke through. If you don't want any green to poke through, make sure you're going over. All the green spots. I'm going to add some more whites. One tip you can try is going like crisscross. You can start by going a downstroke here on this side. Make the strokes big or small. And an important part of making this water is knowing when to stop. You don't want to overpaint. Some highlights of purple. Add little specks of white. The little dots of white can look like ripples in the water. Okay. So once you have your plate painted in, look back and see if it's how you want it to look. Does it look like water to you? Is there any spots you want to go back and add brush strokes to make it look more like water? I'm gonna go around the edges and tap that in. Do you want to add a little highlights of purple anywhere? And remember, it's just strokes. You're not going in swirly circles. Once you feel like you're at a good stopping place and you have it all painted in with using brush strokes, I want you to set it on the drying rack to dry, making sure that your name is on the back. That should have been done first. And the next time you'll come back, we'll add lily pads, we'll add flowers, we will add rocks to make it look more realistic. So we'll add lots of great things for our pond, for our turtle to enjoy. So that's how to paint the turtle. When you are done, make sure your brush is clean at the sink. Give it a good scrub with your fingers. Wash the hair out. Leave this out because we will use this again. You will either be using one of these or a paper plate, and we'll reuse these with another class. So you can leave those out unless you're my last second grade class of the day. So can't wait to see how your ponds turn out.